Sweetie is first down. Why'd you let that happen, Jennifer?
It's all my fault. It's always my fault. So I got wide shoulders.
Yes, it is.
How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're waiting on you.
I would have been parking.
Well, he was here. He's looking for you. See?
Where's the chair?
Wait, where's the chair? We're waiting on the chair.
The mayor, I think is what you meant to say. Not the chair, the mayor.
There he is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not a good start to 2019 here.
All right, the first meeting of the local RTA for 2019 will come to order. It looks like we do have a quorum. We'll call that good. I'd entertain a motion, item number 2, approval of the agenda. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, that's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Seeing no opposition, that passes unanimously. Item number 3, public comments for items that are not on the agenda. Would anybody like to talk about something that's not on the agenda? Reb, you got anything to say about an item that's not on the agenda? Jennifer, Mike Chavez, anything? Nothing? Okay, all right. All right, item number 4, resolution of appreciation for Commissioner Vanderwerf. Service on the RTA. And for the record, Holly Williams will be replacing Commissioner Vanderwerf on the RTA. She's not here today, not because she's skipping, but because they have new commissioner training up in Denver today with CCI.
The board just got better looking.
Without a doubt.
And I'm really glad you said that.
Well, no, you're still on the board, though, so he's actually saying that about Peggy and Daryl, I think, is...
I thought he was talking about this board.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. All right.
And I think it got younger, too.
Yeah.
I was the youngest, not anymore.
All right. Stop talking. We're doing this thing. I move the following resolution, and it's a resolution by the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority Board of Directors acknowledging appreciation to El Paso County Director Stan Vanderwerf. It's dated January 9th, 2019. Whereas El Paso County is a member government of the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, and whereas Stan Vanderwerf served as El Paso County Commissioner from January 2017 to this present day, and when he served on the Pikes Peak RTA Board of Directors from January 2017 through December 2018. And whereas El Paso County Director Stan Vanderwerf has served the citizens of El Paso County and the Pikes Peak region with distinction, now, therefore, be it resolved, the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority Board of Directors wishes to acknowledge their deepest gratitude to El Paso County Director Stan Vanderwerf for his commitments to regional transportation planning and projects, for his wise counsel, and for his dedication to the advancement of the transportation projects of the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority. Resolved, approved, and adopted by the Board of Directors of the Pikes Peak RTA this 9th day of January 2019. It's signed by me as the chair of the Board of Directors and attested to by Rick Sonnenberg, the board secretary. I'd entertain a second.
I'll second that.
Oh.
All right, all those in favor of approving the resolution for Commissioner Vanderwerf, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Wow, seeing no opposition, it's approved. Thank you very much for your service. Would you like to say a few words, and can we do a picture?
Awesome. So, first of all, it's been my pleasure to serve the citizens of El Paso County on this board over the last 2 years, and it's also been my pleasure to serve with all of you. This is a great, outstanding team. You deal with tough problems, and you have continued to succeed in working through those. So it's been my pleasure again. I felt it was important to step down from this board because I know how important transportation issues are for Holly, and since we do have a new board and reallocating of liaison assignments, I felt it was the right thing to do, and I went forward and did that. I'm still on PPACG and serve on several other liaison assignments, but I would love to continue to interact with you all on the transportation issues of our community. So having said that, thank you very much, and I wish you all Godspeed, and please continue to make great decisions on behalf of our community. Thank you.
Any other comments before we do a hard hat presentation here?
It's difficult to lose you, Stan, because you're the only one whose name is harder to spell than mine.
I'm really sorry that I'm going to remove that opportunity to make me the hardest last name to pronounce. But you can just cite me whenever you want and mispronounce it as you go along. It'll work fine.
We appreciate your time on the board. No doubt you'll be back here at some point. You still have a lot of county commissioning left to do, and I'm sure that there will be opportunities to come back, and then you can get like the oak leaf cluster on your hard hat to show multiple stints of service. So thank you very much for your service on the RTA board.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Everybody? Okay.
Everybody.
Of course.
Okay. It's in front. Let's go in the front of the...
Yeah, how do you want us to do this?
Yeah, just you guys sit down if you want, and then Stan can get right behind you too.
Okay, sounds good.
Or if you want to get Stan right here, that's
Let's, yeah, come on, put the hat on and sit down.
Sit down? Okay.
Sure.
All right. Honorary 2-minute chair, right?
And then you take this and hit him on
You can hit him on the
Great. They're going to photobomb me. Now, I actually do want you to take one picture of Mark doing that. Oh, is it Dave? Oh, okay.
It's Mark.
Okay. All right, Puma, come on, Puma.
It's all right.
Get out of
He's
here.
crying.
I'm not crying. He stepped
Oh,
on me.
my God.
Such a bellyacher.
He is. He's a whiner.
1, 2, 3. Now one regular
Okay.
one.
Wait. Jesse, are you up there?
Yep, she's right here.
Okay, good. If you're even Puma, get on that side.
You want one of
Oh,
those
my
gaveling
goodness.
his head, too?
Yeah, I do.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Awesome.
All right, thank you. All right.
Perfect.
Yes.
You got a lot of smart.
All right. You got it.
See you all later, everybody.
You did a good job.
Thank you. After a year, I'm finally figuring out how to do this, so, just when I'm done. All right, item number 5, we have a certificate of appreciation for one of the CAC members, Tom Rogers. Mr. Rogers? And I move that we approve this certificate of appreciation as well, and I'll just read it real quick. It's the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority wishes to acknowledge its deepest gratitude to Tom Rogers for his invaluable contribution to the PPRTA Citizens Advisory Committee, and he served from, get a load of this, guys, March 2005 to December 2018. Yeah, think about that. Longer than any of us have certainly been around. I mean, seen it since the beginning, and okay, Tyler's really old and has been here a long time too. If you want, sir, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate it tremendously. I'm going to open it up for discussion here in just a minute, but I'd entertain a second.
I second.
Thank you. All right, we'll open it up for discussion. First of all, public comment, please. And then we'll give you a chance at rebuttal, sir.
Jim Godfrey, Chair of the CAC. I couldn't let Tom get away without saying that, speaking for the CAC, we really appreciate everything that you've contributed. As you noted, he's been around, he's got a lot of history and a lot of corporate. He's served in several different roles from several different members of the CAC. But Tom always had a good, solid rationale, good, solid discussion, and contributed to the conversation with his background and his expertise. And you'll be missed, Tom, and so thank you for your service.
Pleasure. Anybody else in the public like to comment on this acknowledgement? right, I'll bring it up to the board. Oh, nope, sorry, Reb. You got to move a little quicker, Reb. Come
That
on.
was kind of slow. I know I was a little slow.
I don't know why you're picking on me. I'd like to thank Tom personally.
Stand up to the microphone, please.
I can hear me. I don't.
We have to record it for posterity.
I'd like to thank Tom personally because I started with a hack about the time Tom came on board with CAC. I know it's a long time ago, but I've been involved with the roads here in the county, and Tom's been a good mentor and very thoughtful in his thoughts given to the CAC, and a lot of decisions were swung one way or another by Tom. So you guys owe him some good advice. But thanks for good advice.
Thank you. Thank you, Reb. All right, bring it up here for discussion. Anybody like to say anything? Yeah, Councilmember Geislinger.
If I can turn the thing on. You know,
No, you're not there yet.
I use this. 13 years is an amazing amount of commitment. And I just did some real brief amateur mathematics. I think
You're doing that.
that is over 150 meetings.
Many more.
Many more than that, and those are the official meetings. And then there's more than that, and then there's the reading and the preparation. I think a lot of people don't really understand how important it is to have citizen engagement and citizen oversight. And so I commend you tremendously for that degree of commitment, and thank you.
Yeah, you're good. It's on. It's on. It's on. It's off. You had it on. It was on.
Trying to take it off.
Would you like to say something? Oh, trying to figure out how to turn it off. Oh, well, there you go. Thank you so much for your thoughtful and attentive consideration. I mean, these are volunteer boards. You don't get paid to be here. You don't even get a per diem to be here. You know, at best you may, get a cookie here and there, and that's not much compensation. Though they do some pretty mean holiday treats here. I'll give them that. That's for sure. But it's 13 years, a long time to be doing anything, and it's been a tremendously valuable service to not only the RTA but to our entire community. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And now the floor is yours.
Thank you. The 13 years, I was on the HAC 4 years before then. I was chairman of the HAC, and then I came over here as a representative from the HAC for my 5th year, and then extended. See, we get a nice presentation here. With the HAC, I got a little pin.
Oh, very nice. We can deliver one of those from the county, I think, and I'll bet City Colorado Springs can come up with something too.
It's a great group to work with, really. Rick's been an ace and a half whenever we had a situation, he's right there. And I think we ran very smoothly. It was very interesting to be on this group. After the 4 years dealing way out in the county and places like that, sort of came home. And Jennifer, Mike, and everybody could tell what's happening, and the neighbors used me as an information terminal, basically to hear what are they doing down here? How do I, all that. And we've always been very, very responsive. And I have never been familiar with any other city that's had this type of an operation. You all should really congratulate yourself. You do an outstanding job. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. Now we'll take the vote, and then we'll do a picture. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving this acknowledgement, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Well, seeing no opposition, that passes unanimously. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more picture. Yolanda, would you like us to do it in front so we can get Puma in a little
Yes.
better? All right, we'll do
That'd be
that.
great.
We'll do that.
Put the gavel down. He doesn't have a hat.
Yeah, if you don't have a hat, I won't bonk you on the head with the gavel.
We only gavel elected officials.
Out there or here?
Yeah, you get in front.
You'd be amazed at how many times I got gavelled down when I was in the State House.
Really?
Really? Oh,
You get the
I don't think I'd be amazed.
I'm gonna go down over there. I'm gonna get over here with the short guys.
Yeah. It's not much of an acknowledgement for all those years. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I always identify whom as our best-looking male.
I said the cat makes our job a lot easier. They can hammer it down with the goodies, and then we can say yeah or no. That's right. It's much easier.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see.
All right, agenda item number 6, we have the appointment, reappointment of board members and selection of board officers. Seems to me we should probably take these in two separate, as two separate votes. Is that right?
As far as,
Chair.
Well, no, it looks like we have to approve the new board, the
No.
overall board.
no, the board directors are appointed by the local member government, so it's just,
Okay.
if
we
there's
don't have-
any new announcements, Merv has made the announcements for the city. I think you've made the announcement for the county. I've got a resolution relative to Tyler, and so I think I have all the paperwork, so the board is in place, so you don't need a motion on that. So you're
excellent.
you're down to just your 3 officers, chair, vice chair, and secretary.
All right, outstanding. And so I guess we'll try to do this as one, as a slate, perhaps.
I'd like to nominate Dave Geislinger as our chair.
Would you like to continue as a slate here?
I think the county needs to make the vice chair.
Well,
I can do it if you want.
well, I was just going to say, if we do it as a slate, we can do it in one vote. That's all I was going to say.
I
But
don't know who the county is.
it's going to be Commissioner Gonzalez
And I would nominate Commissioner Gonzalez to be vice chair.
and continue on.
I'd nominate to continue Rick Sonnenberg as secretary.
All right. And we need a second to that?
I second it.
All right. Are there, would somebody, I guess, like to move that nominations be closed, or are there any other nominations? All right, I move that nominations be closed. So, all of those in favor, sorry for the clunkiness of this, all of those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay?
Just nay as to the chair.
Yeah, there you go. Seeing no opposition, I hand the gavel over, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
You have to figure out the microphone.
I got. That's what Merv was showing me. Yes.
Just turn yours on and leave it on.
That's the deal. We now go to approval of the minutes for the December 12th meeting. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposition. The minutes are approved unanimously. We now move forward to the Citizens Advisory Committee monthly report. Mr. Godfrey.
Good afternoon, Jim Godfrey, Chair of the CAC. Go over quickly the actions of our January 2nd meeting. Number one, assuming that you accept and approve the CAC report this month. We elected new officers, and you're stuck with me again for another year, unless you send it back for a revote. Reb is first vice chair, and Tom Vieira is the second vice chair, so it's virtually the same officers as we had this year. It was my honor. I serve at the pleasure of the committee, and I'm glad to represent that group to you. Our first order of business was to look at the contracts submitted by the city. There were 10 contracts We had a good discussion on 6 of them. 4 of them were just maintenance on call, ADA contract, concrete work. No questions or issues on those. I just would like to say that there was one contract on the Pikes Peak Greenway having to do with the bridge to America the Beautiful Park that we recommended coming forward to you on the premise that the city would provide some additional details on that contract. So I'm sure that I understand the city is prepared to do that today. So we recommend approval based on that information of all the city's contracts. Paso County had one having to do with Meridian Road. We recommend approval of that as well. And Green Mountain Falls had a change order, but a no-cost contract, just extending a period of performance, I believe. Then I'd like to go ahead and cover, if I may, while I'm here, item number 12, or later on your agenda is the annual report of CAC activities. It's an annual report to the board. So we have reviewed that, some few little edit changes, and so that report will be signed by me and coming to you shortly. And I believe that was everything we had in our meeting. Very short meeting, and I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Godfrey? Any question? Pardon?
I move to accept the report.
Motion to, do I get to ask the audience if there's any?
Yes.
Okay, so does anybody in the audience have any questions for Mr. Godfrey? It has been moved to accept the Citizens Advisory Committee report. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. No nays. Sorry. Jumped ahead of myself. So that has been approved unanimously. Does that also approve the second report, Rick? Or do we have to do that separately?
Depends on did the motion include both reports?
No, only the
Only the citizens. So I'd entertain a second motion for the CAC annual report.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the CAC annual report. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please signify by saying nay. That is approved unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Godfrey.
Be glad to. Looking forward. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Chavez to present the contracts from the City of Colorado Springs. Oh, that's right, we're skipping financial reports. It's
No
news.
news.
It is no news, Bev.
No news, Bev, today.
Yes, that was very good.
Yeah. So last month, as you recall, we didn't receive the sales and use tax numbers from the Department of Revenue in time for this meeting. So I sent them out, and for the month, we were $109,000 over the monthly budget of October and $3,794,000 year-to-date. So as of today, we have not received all the November sales and use tax numbers. What we have received indicates we are $160,000 short, but we haven't received the portion that's from the Department of Motor Vehicles, and that usually ranges between $400,000 and $600,000 a month. So I think we're going to be over for this month, but what's happening is the Department of Motor Vehicles installed a new computer system for collection of this data, and it's called Drives, and they're having a hard time getting it implemented, and that's what the issue is right now. So when I get these numbers, I'll send them out again via email, but hopefully we can get this straightened out, and we're going to write a letter to them and have it signed by some of the member governments, and we'll try to get to the bottom of this. We have to receive the December sales and use tax by February 15th in order for it to count for 2018. Yeah, well, they're last month they were past that, so.
That's significant.
And the letter will also reiterate that, so. Does anybody have any questions?
Any further questions? Thank you. No news. We'll just continue to keep the no news. All right.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 10, Mr. Chavez.
Good afternoon, Board. Mike Chavez, City Engineering. I've got a few contracts to go over. The first one is a change order, or it's actually a payment to CSU for cost sharing on a relocation of an electric duct bank on the Dublin Whiting. We had to move that duct bank in order to get the storm sewer into that road. Next item is a contract to approve bus shelter, benches, and some solar lining for the Mountain Metro. This contract is for the supplying of those items only. It's not for the installation. And it's purchasing about 14 shelters, 14 benches, and about 8 lighting systems, solar lighting for them. Next item is a change order to Anderson, Dason, and Mail. They are the architects on the Southwest pedestrian bridge. The price for the bridge came in pretty high, so we had them do some value engineering, and we came up, we're paying them $48,000, and there was a question as to what the savings were, and the savings that we're looking at realizing is anywhere, it's about 1.7 to 1.9 million. So,
And this is the issue that Mr. Godfrey raised. Well, you were talking back there, but he said they wanted some more information on a particular change order.
yes, this was
Okay.
one of them, because I didn't have that information at the CAC, and so that again, that is there was concern of how much are we saving, and usually when you do value engineering, because you're expecting to be able to save a significant amount. Next item was to renew the fifth option for even pricer on the basically it's the missing sidewalk program. That one actually raised a question. One of the CAC members took the contract amount that's in the memo and divided it by the 65,000 square feet of sidewalk we were anticipating placing. He came up with a number of $11 a square foot, and he said he went online and saw that the number was 9, kind of what it's costing. Well, this contract has more than just sidewalk. It's got all the mobilization, but the actual price that this contractor is charging us for actual sidewalk is $5.60. And that's one of the reasons why we're renewing it, because they have stayed, their prices were originally very low, and they've continued to stay low. Then the item 5 is a design contract for Jacobs Engineering for the design of 2 segments for reconstructing Cannon Boulevard between Bijou and Airport and Fountain and Milton Proby. They're listed as 2 projects on our RTA list, but we combined them for efficiency's sake. So that'll get the design going on that project. Item 6 is there's a couple of on-call contracts that we're renewing. They didn't make the list in December, so they are just getting renewed. They got added to our annual on-call renewal list. And then we have 4 maintenance contracts for on-call and ADA concrete with the maintenance program with operations. And those are not to exceed dollar values on the contracts. We're not necessarily that we're going to spend that much on them, but they're just not to exceed numbers. I think that's all I have.
Move to approve.
Any questions for Mr. Chavez from the audience? It's been moved to approve the City of Colorado Springs contracts. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The contracts are approved unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
10B is El Paso County. Ms. Irvin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Board of Directors. Happy New Year. Jennifer Irvin, El Paso County, County Engineer. We have one item on your agenda today, and that is a request for a $150,000 purchase order for the Meridian Road U.S. Highway 24 intersection project. And this purchase order is for a purchase of wetland bank credits. So we are finalizing right-of-way acquisition with this project and also all of our environmental permits. As we do projects, one of the things that we try to do is avoid wetland impacts. but sometimes when we cannot avoid those wetland impacts, what we do is we have to either mitigate those or purchase credits as far as mitigation. So as part of that evaluation, what we do is we look at what's the best cost and most cost-effective way to do that. In this case, rather than doing the wetland bank design and implementation and then monitoring and maintenance on site, what we're doing is we are purchasing a wetland bank credit, and it's in, I believe, Huerfano County, within that same basin. And what that does is that it allows us to go ahead and purchase credits that have already been established in a wetland bank approved by the Army Corps of Engineers. So we determined in looking at the cost for doing all the things that we would have to do on site with this project versus purchasing credits that have already been established, it was more cost effective to go ahead and purchase those wetland bank credits. And then also, it also reduces our exposure, because many times when you do wetland mitigation, it may not take, and then you also have to do a long-term monitoring and then maintenance. So it's very expensive. So we look at all those costs and try and look at the best situation, and that's what we came out with here, and that's what we're recommending, is to move forward with a credit purchase.
Any questions for Ms. Irvin from the audience? Seeing no questions, do I have a motion to approve El Paso County's?
Move to approve.
Any second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
11A is the City of Colorado Springs Transit Services Monthly Report. Mr. Blewett, I think, yes, thought I saw you back there.
Good afternoon, Craig Blewett, Transit Services Manager with the City of Colorado Springs. Our report is in your packet, and just hitting a few highlights with regard to ridership. Our local fixed route bus service had a slight increase in comparing November 2018 to November 2017 of 2.2%, with the same number of weekdays, Saturdays, and Sundays as the previous year. Our ADA Metro Mobility service had a slight decrease of the same number, remarkably, 2.2%. And our van pool program saw an increase in ridership of 13% over the previous year, which is a significant jump. So at our last meeting, Chairperson Geislinger asked about three things: information on why our bus ridership is rebounded, is back up, how do we compare to national trends, and why are boardings per hour down. So I have a few minutes to go over those, if I may. So why is bus ridership back up? So just a reflection back on 2018, we actually have our numbers in for December as well. So looking at the entire year now, and the figures I'm talking about, again, are comparing 2018 to 2017, the year as a whole, and then specific months, so January of 18 to January of 17. For the entire year of 2018, we had a 3.4% decrease in ridership. It was positive in January, an increase in January. Then we had a greater than 4% reduction in ridership in the months of February through July. Then we had a very slight decrease in August, and some increases in September, October, November, and then a slight decrease again this past month in December. And so a difference of 2% or less can be due to the number of weekdays in a month that varies from year to year, weather that we have, or any other number of non-meaningful factors. So why was ridership down from February to July, and why has it rebounded since then, is the question. So there are some national factors. As I mentioned, I think back in probably the summer, there was a decline in transit or bus service or bus ridership across the country of about 7%. And the reasons for that are the good economy. A lot more people have more money in their pockets, cheap car loans, cheap gasoline prices, and some impact from TNCs, transportation network companies, ride-hailing services like Uber and Lyft. Local issues on top of those national factors, the closing of the Cog Railroad has had a major impact on us. Road construction detours, which slows down buses and also eliminates bus stops, but we get better roads, so there's a trade-off. And then also some call centers closed on Corporate Drive, which also had a pretty big impact on us. We got a good ridership to those call centers. So our bigger ridership decreases were February to July. and that does coincide with the impact of the COG closure, and road construction detours probably played a big factor, especially between May and July, and that reduced ridership on the Manitou shuttle related to the COG, and those call center closures were also significant during that time period. The call centers closed in December of 17, I believe in February of 2018. So why the rebound more recently? So we saw that smaller decrease in August and an increase in September, October, and November. Well, our student pass program, college student pass program, kicked off with Pikes Peak Community College starting in late August. That's an addition of 15,000 students to our college student program, basically doubling that program. And so we saw good ridership there. We've added more service during 2018. So in the spring, we added off-peak service on Saturdays and Sundays. And that's ridership that builds over time as people get used to the new service. And we had additional routes and frequency that we added on October 1st. So I think that's all contributed to our increased ridership. Nationally, I didn't see anything in recent articles, and I Googled what I could find, and there hasn't really been much since the May or June timeframe, which is the last time I reported. So not really sure what's going on there, but in that my article in early summer was ridership was down about 7%. And so looking at ours for 2018, we were down about half that, so about 3.4%. So the question is, why are the boardings per hour going down? So in the most recent month we're reporting here, November 2018, we had 15.9 boardings per hour, and that is lower than we'd like. But most of that can be explained due to adding new off-peak service. You don't get as much ridership on off-peak, so on evenings and weekends as you do during the weekdays. Better frequency, and then in addition to off-peak service, then the better frequency and a brand new route. So adding frequency in a new route can take up to 18 months to realize its potential. Again, as people realize that the service is there and perhaps make some life changes, you might move to an apartment on a bus route and then start using that route. We do Mountain Metro Transit. We do an annual assessment of our total system performance and individual route performance system-wide, which we will do later this year. And we use that assessment for a number of things, but one of the things we do is if a particular route is underperforming and below our service standard, we will address that and could tweak the route. We could do some additional marketing on that route, do some other things that would bring that ridership up to what our standards are. So hopefully those address your questions.
Yeah, they did. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Blewett? I would just like to thank you for doing that and continue, to recommend that you continue this kind of deep dive. From my perspective, at least, many citizens who come to City Council have transportation concerns. And they are just legitimate concerns about the growing of our bus system to meet the realities of who we are now. So I think this is something that we just need to continue to keep on the forefront.
We will do that.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
All right. 11B is the maintenance of effort reports. Mr. Sonnenberg.
This is simply a reminder. It's an information item, just a reminder that the establishing IGA requires each of the member governments to provide a maintenance of effort report each year, and the board has decided on February of each year, so this will be on your agenda next month.
Any comments, any questions? Thank you, sir. 11C is the City of Colorado Springs monthly change order and property acquisition report. Mr. Chavez.
Mike Chavez, City Engineering, is there any questions on the change order report?
You guess not. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
I'm going to take a moment. I forgot to do this earlier. So the Centennial Reconstruction Project that we did last year won an award from the the Mountain States Engineering News Record Association. So for a small best project. And so this is a plaque that we got to put over here on the board. Or on the wall. And I believe I should be getting another plaque for the Woodman Union. That one won an award that we went up to in, I think, September, October. So when I get that, I'll bring that over.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, I'll put that up.
All right.
Good job.
11D. My eyes are failing me. El Paso County monthly change order and property acquisition report. Ms. Irvin.
Good afternoon. I'm here if you have any questions.
No questions. 11F. 11E, I'm sorry, Town of Green Mountain Falls change order report.
And so that they didn't have to actually be here to present this, this is simply a time extension. No difference in money, just time extension.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. To 12A, designation of posting places for meeting notice. Mr. Sonnenberg?
It's required that the board declare its posting places for meeting notices, and in all the prior years, the board has decided on the bulletin board in the foyer of the west entrance upstairs and the PPRTA website. So I'm requesting a motion for the same two locations.
It's been moved to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Thank you. There's no opposition, so that passes unanimously. I understand there is no C.I-25 gap project update. Is that correct?
Well, there's an update in the packet, but it's unchanged from last month.
Unchanged from last month. Okay. 12C, staff field review report.
Is the results of my drive-around review to confirm what the member governments have reported has been constructed in the prior quarter.
Any questions for Mr. Sonnenberg in terms of his drive-around? Is it a pleasant day?
Yeah, several days,
Several days.
pieces of several days.
Thank you. All right, thank you, sir. I do want to have a, do we need to have a special executive session, I think? Just an executive session. Before we do the executive session, it should be pretty short. I'm going to suggest that we take 15 out of order. Are there any member announcements?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to announce to the board that City of Colorado Springs has not done a comprehensive plan in over 19 years, which is something that has been desired for the last 10, but because of the cost of it and everything, it just didn't get done. Yesterday, we did the comprehensive plan. It took a 2.5-year project. We had good input, including from the county and everybody involved. The consultant that we work with says that a city of our size, and they used Austin, Texas as an example, usually have about 1,500 citizens that participated. We had over 9,000. Whenever we had our community meetings, we had a map of the city, and we had them put push pins as to where they lived. If you saw it, the entire city was covered. And so we had incredible input from all ages and all locations. So yesterday, the city council approved it. Now, it will need a second approval, but it was approved unanimously. Just wanted you to know that we had gone through that. It was a 2.5-year project, and it's one that I'm very proud of that we were able to complete. The other thing, two other things. My wife asked me today to make sure I mention to Mayor Giray that she loves the decorations on the new lights on Manitou Boulevard. If you haven't gone down and seen Manitou Boulevard for Christmas, they decorated those lights. It's actually quite spectacular.
Wait until the whole project gets done.
Yeah, it'll be incredible at that time. So usually we come home on Highway 24. She makes me get off so at night she can drive down and see the lights. And the final thing, Mr. President, Mr. Chair, is that I wanted to thank the staff because I think today's cookies were the best we've ever had.
Uh-oh, I gotta get some now.
I'd like to attribute that to the change in leadership. Ms. Avila.
I just wanted to add on to that about the comprehensive plan. And I think it's one of the legacies that Merv will leave after his 8-year term ends in April. He's done incredible work on that, and he showed up at every meeting that we had, and has been working on it with the staff and along with Jill Gabler. And so I am so grateful to Merv Bennett for this, and I wanted to call it the Merv Bennett Strategic Comprehensive Plan, but he thinks I might be sick.
Do we have any other updates? And Jennifer, I suppose we should probably, on the record, just address item 14, which is actions related to the ongoing litigation. My understanding is there is no update, no change.
Correct. Status is unchanged.
Okay.
So what I would be looking for, if you want me to continue, would be a motion under item 13 in accordance with the Colorado Open Meetings Act, Section 24-6402-4B and 24-6402-4E, for the purpose of conferencing with an attorney to receive legal advice on specific legal questions and/or determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiation, and instructing counsel regarding those negotiations related to the establishing IGA.
So moved.
Do I hear a second? And that has to be, does that have to be voice vote, or does that have to be an individual vote?
It can be voice vote.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, can we prepare the room, please? Thank you. Well, it was...
I know that they were, yeah, and that's what I'm planning on along, it's just we don't have a date yet, but I'll make sure that.
I'm sure they're aware of
Which is why we're doing it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're actually doing a pre-close box.
So the closure will probably be...
I think it depends. I think they have a schedule for about a month, but we're trying to.
Young lady, don't.
It's obviously not one you have to say.
Yeah, so.
Okay, thank you.
But good news is that then we won't have a problem there at all.
That's right.
We'll let you know. I just want to let you know I had Wi-Fi.
Excellent. Calendar.
Fix the WAP. That's my next.
The purpose of the...
Fix the WAP. That's my new one.
I've had it on there for a couple months
Fix the WAP.
Good call.
Because I am sneaky.
Get the WAP out of here.
Yeah, it's just.
Yes, sir.
Don't ever commit a crime in those shoes.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, very distinct pink mark on the bottom.
Dave, it's buried in the verbiage.
I do. All right, good to know.
I don't think the color.
So,
Those are nice lines there. That's what they attributed to the change We're on your feet than I remember.
Yes.
He's an attorney.
Right, we can terminate recording because I'll be giving legal advice.
Always.
forever.
Okay.
I'd just like to say for the record, my portion of the meeting was a lot quicker than yours. That's all.
It's all right. It was. It was much faster. All right, we're done.
You only did like 2 things.
No, I did 5 things. 5 things. Oh, come on. I was way quicker. My 5 agenda item things went quickly.
Okay.
All right. So with your town manager, I think it's confused. And things that like